This is the reason why you feel like your prayers or manifestations are not being answered. Hello, my name is Gloriana. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my videos are all about sharing the lessons I have learned along my journey and just giving them to you in case they help you along your journey too. As always, I just want you to know that what I'm sharing with you is my own personal experience and what I have learned and what resonates with me. So take everything I say with a grain of salt and see if it applies to your life too. If you have delved into the spiritual realm, you probably know about manifestation. But if you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, manifestation is really the art of just connecting ourselves with the flow of source, of divinity, the universe, God, and allowing that energy to come into our life and give us exactly what we want and need to live a fulfilled life. The thing about this flow of God is that it is always available to all of us. It is like a river constantly flowing wherever we are. But as we go on through life, we start putting boulders of different energies that prevent that flow from flowing freely into our lives and giving us what we need to be happy beings. What I have found is that usually those boulders come in the form of fears, of frustrations, worries, anxieties. But I believe that there is a really big one that we don't often talk about, and this is resentment. Resentment is basically anger that has festered inside of us because we have chosen to identify ourselves with that energy. We pretty much have made the decision to punish the other person, the other thing, the other place by holding on to a negative emotion and directing that emotion towards them. And the problem with resentment is that we are not only hurting the other party, but we are hurting ourselves in the process because we are creating a link, a spiritual link between us and that thing or person. So, like I said, resentment is one of those boulders that is preventing us from actually accessing the flow of abundance that is always available to us. And in order to really be able to let go of that boulder of resentment, we need to forgive and let go. And forgiveness is not always easy because it is really easy to say, I forgive someone, I forgive this situation in my life. But a lot of the times we don't actually mean it, and that energy keeps lingering and we keep feeding the same thoughts, and that situation keeps popping up in our minds, that it is kept alive in our reality even though it has maybe been years already since that situation passed. So I want to share with you the steps of forgiveness in case that you are dealing with resentment and you find that your manifestation, your prayer has not been answered. Forgiveness really begins with the choice of wanting to forgive that person, that place, that situation. It means that we're willing to take the first step to let go, even if we don't feel like that is possible in the beginning. Because once we have chosen with our willpower to forgive, we have set in motion the energies in order to help us do exactly that. And after we make that choice, what I like to do is to use the power of my imagination to create a ritual of separation between me and that person or that situation. And what you can do is to imagine that person, that situation, maybe as a presence if that person has hurt you a lot and you can't even think of their face. But you can imagine their presence, and with an open heart, you are going to say that you let them go, that you release them from your space, that you are willing to bless them and to wish them a happy life, even if you don't want them in yours anymore. You have to be willing to part ways in a peaceful way if you truly want to break that connection, because the more negative emotions you attach to that link, the stronger it gets and the more attached you are to that person, because ultimately you're putting energy into them. Energy flows where attention goes. So if our attention means that we are directing energy when we think either positively or negatively of someone, we are still sending them our energy. And what we want is to get that energy back so that we can actually use it for our own well-being and our growth. So in that process of visualization, you are gonna imagine as you and that person finally are able to go your separate ways in a peaceful and loving way. And you are gonna close that chapter once and for all. But of course, visualization is not everything. It is only the second part of the process. The third part is that actionable forgiveness. And this is when you are gonna make the choice that every single time that scenario comes into your mind, you are gonna bless that person, that place, and you are gonna release it from your mind. You're gonna distract yourself with a different thought, because if you keep feeding the same thoughts, that situation is gonna stay alive in your being, no matter if you did that ritual or not. And even though it may not feel genuine or real in the beginning, and you may not actually wanna bless that person or thing, with time, you will find that you will be able to actually feel those emotions, because you're no longer giving your attention to the negative ones. You are stopping the flow of energy by no longer feeding the thoughts of resentment. And instead, you're choosing to replace those thoughts with blessings, with love. And that is ultimately an act of self-love and liberation. A lot of the times we may feel like the other person doesn't deserve our forgiveness because of how much pain they have caused us. But ultimately, we are doing this because we want to free ourselves. We want to free ourselves of the chain that we have attached to that person, to that situation, because we no longer want any energies in our space that don't help us thrive. As long as there is a little discomfort in the back of our minds, we are blocking ourselves from God, from the flow, from divinity. And ultimately, we are hurting ourselves by doing that. We are hurting ourselves more than we are hurting the other person. And we really want to become lighter beings. We want to let go of all the negative emotions that we have inside so that we can rise into higher states of consciousness. So in case your mind is tricking you into making you feel like you are weak for letting go, always remember that it is actually an act of courage and strength to do so. It takes a lot of willpower and a lot of putting our pride aside to be able to forgive someone that has hurt us. But we are really doing this because we want to be better human beings, and we also want to be blessed by connecting to that flow of love, of abundance, instead of blocking it and giving more of our happiness to that person or to that place or situation that caused us so much pain. It's really important that we're constantly checking ourselves for resentment, because society has normalized this emotion. And that is the reason why we have so much war, why families are divided, why we feel the need to separate ourselves from others and make the other group bad and us good. It's always important to understand that where there is resentment, there is going to be separation. And this can lead to more anger, to more violence, and we really don't want to feed into those negative seeds of the world. Our goal as human beings should be to create more peace, to create more love, more harmony. And the only way that we can do that is by working on ourselves. And the beautiful thing is that in the process of letting go of all these emotions that are weighing us down, we do get to rise higher, we do get to live happier lives, and ultimately we get to be content with who we are every single day and every single night, and go to sleep with a clear conscience. I hope you were able to gain a different perspective from my video today. This has been a powerful lesson in my life, because resentment can be such a subtle energy that a lot of times it goes unnoticed, and we always think that it's justified. But we cannot justify anything that takes away our peace. Ultimately, I think at the core, we're all seeking to be more loving, to be more compassionate, to live in a world that actually makes us happy and is in harmony, and we want to see our brothers and sisters thriving. Thank you so much for being here with me today and listening to my video. I really appreciate your time. If you enjoyed this video, I would encourage you to subscribe to help out my channel, and I will see you again very soon with more videos. Bye.